What's up, Kiran? How you doing, man?
Great, how are you?
Dude, congratulations. You're a semi-finalist in the upcoming Speak Out competition that Grant Cardone and his team put together.
Yes.
That's huge, man. So it was like 300 people, maybe more, from Phoenix, and you were one of the 30 that are making it through to the next part of this segment, right?
Yeah.
Dude, tell us about it. What happened?
See, I mean, thankfully, they did it on a Saturday morning with very short notice. Still, so many people showed up.
Right.
If they would have done it with more notice, I think there could have been 600-700 people, and maybe I could have been overtaken.
Maybe double it, right? But you weren't,
who knows?
Right? Nah, man, you come out on top no matter what. Put 1,000 people up against Kiran, come out on top.
So just for the audience, there is this thing called American Speak Off. Grant Cardone and his team, Pete Vargas is the guy who is actually pretty much he ran the show yesterday.
Yeah.
And it happened at the Fort McDowell Casino. So the logic behind the show, as I gathered, was just like how we have the singing show.
Yeah, America's Got Talent.
Yes, that one. So it's on the lines of the same thing, because looks like the concept is similar. I don't know if it's the same producers who are doing it.
Right.
And they tied up with Grant Cardone. I don't know the intricacies of it, but the format is the same, wherein you register first, and then as soon as you go there, they are going to tell you. Yesterday, Pete was talking about how to do it.
Right.
Pat Quinn was one of his employees. They told that, okay, this is how the round 1 is going to go. This is how the round 2 is going to go. This is how you need to speak, and they just gave a short crash course on how to keep up your business communication. It's very valuable for people who attended. I got a few nuggets out of it, and they went through all that.
Okay, well, let's stop right there. So you had 300 people, you're all signed up, you're ready to go, and the first thing they do is just give you some tips and pointers, right?
Yeah.
From their perspective. And of course, you're already a professional speaker, which is why you've done so well with this to begin with, right? You're incredible at what you do. But the nuggets, you said that they gave you a few nuggets that even you were like, oh, that's pretty good. Maybe like a good reminder or something like that. Do you have one or two of those that you can share?
Yes. So Pat was talking about Mark Twain's quote.
Okay.
Mark Twain once said to somebody that, sorry, I didn't have time, so I wrote you a long letter.
Yeah. I love that quote.
Yeah.
It's hard to be succinct and short in your communication and direct. And oftentimes we drag on because we don't have the time to kind of make things really, really concise. And that's what that quote from Mark Twain was saying. Like, man, I'm sorry. I wish if I had more time, I would have wrote you a shorter letter.
Exactly. So that really stuck to me, because I went in with the mindset that maybe there will be a 5-minute or a 10-minute speech that I have to be ready for. So that's what I was prepared for. Then Pat really flipped it on me. They said they only need 60 seconds to tell it. 60 seconds is such a short time. By the time I tell my name, it's over. I have a long name too, so it's
so that's half your time.
That's 30 seconds of my time gone right there. But anyway, the real matter of the fact is that's something that stuck to me, that we have to be concise. That's part of business communication. So Pat and Pete, they both did an excellent job training people, preparing them on how to make your elevator pitch, kind of, because this is literally an elevator pitch, right? So they prepared us. Then after that, they used technology really well, by the way.
Give me an example, like what?
So after the speech, they said, okay, we are going to have a 10-minute break, and after that, everybody will get a text as to which room they have to be. They had multiple small rooms dedicated. They had 4 judges.
Yeah.
They were celebrity judges, because I looked up a couple of names and they have really high following.
Yeah.
And I was not in that scene, so I did not recognize them. Some of them are like artists, some of them are like brand builders, things like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they were all celebrity judges, and then they used technology really well. I think Grant Cardone and their team have their act together, wherein they were able to prepare people. Even though there were so many people, there was no chaos. It was all very professionally done. There were a lot of cameras, like in the sense that because it's a video production, I'm sure they'll be putting it on the TV someday.
Right.
People waiting in line, and then and all that. During round 1 and round 2, both of them, we got the text messages that, hey, you are assigned to that room. So each room had about maybe 25 to 30 people in that room.
Yeah.
and the door gets shut, and then each one comes one after another and they talk. So judge basically calls your number and then you go. So just like a prisoner, you have the number on your thing.
You just go up there in the front.
Yes, they call the number and you go up front.
What did you talk about? What was that first thing in round one?
Round one, I talked about just our personal story as to how we have managed to build our businesses and then help influence the people who are in our sphere of influence in a positive way.
I like it, man.
So the story is very simple.
Right.
Wherein, okay, we didn't know anything. We talked about how we learn first. Okay, learning is not enough. You have to apply the knowledge.
Right.
And then also willingness is not enough. You have to do the work. So those are the two concepts I have kind of pivoted around our expertise on.
Right, right.
And that's what took me to the round two.
Yeah, okay, so round two, you get into round two. What happens at that point?
So after round one, what they did was they again called everybody into the same room, and then they announced the winners. Okay,
Right.
They picked 75 people. And it was kind of emotional because
Oh, you start out with 300, now you're down to 75.
down to 75. But the good thing that Grant Cardone and their team did was they did not let these people go home disappointed. They really gave them resources and they gave them a second chance. The way they did it was, okay, some people might have fumbled in your first round, so we are going to give you a second chance. And then they took all of those people into another room and they all gave stage time to them, and all of them spoke and their peers kind of voted them. I was not part of that group
Right,
because I
right.
went to the second round, but they were explaining how it went. So that people who missed out, they also had a chance, and finally they were also 3 people out of the rest of the people, they also got picked finally.
Ah, got you. So it was kind of like you had an option to, if you messed up completely, you would come back and do reclaim your position.
Yes.
And it's one of those to go forward if you did well enough.
Yes.
Right? And 3 people did.
They called it the wild card entry, right? So the wild card entry, 3 people came and they did that. And then in addition to that, another really good thing that they did that I appreciated them doing it is they again coached all of them. So we went to round 2, right? But the people who did not get picked in round 1, they re-coached them on few other concepts of speaking.
Got you. So they try to give them as many tools as they could to be
Yes.
successful.
Yes.
So even though the majority of those people left not having gone on, they still walked away with 1, 2, maybe 3 nuggets that they can use to
Absolutely.
improve themselves.
Yes, and on top of it, they also offered this workshop for people who wanted to sign up for. It was kind of pricey, but at the same time, it's a terrific resource for people to improve their communication skills.
Right, absolutely.
And a lot of people signed up for it, and I'm sure they'll get a lot of benefit out of it because Pete and Pat were running that, and they were very good speakers.
Right, yeah. Cool, man. Okay, so round 2 happens. You're in round 2. Walk us through that. What happens next?
So round 2 is basically double the time. Now you have, instead of 1 minute, you have 2 minutes.
All right, so you can get your full name out.
Yeah, full name
So
out.
have a little bit of extra time.
Yes, when you think about it, round 2 is kind of more intense because you're in a room with the same number of 30 different people,
Right.
and all of them are good in the sense that they all have their story tight. They have a good story. They were all good speakers.
Right.
So first round, when I was listening to people, I thought some people were good, some people I thought were not that good. So my confidence was going up.
Yeah.
But in round 2, my confidence was kind of like going up and down because some people were really, really good, while others were still pretty good.
Right.
So
right.
round 2 was intense for me. At the same time, 2 minutes was good enough time wherein I was able to elaborate on my story, the vision. I talked about our vision to train people and offer some training courses for
Right.
people who wanted to get into real estate and mortgage. Because a lot of people want to have passive income.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
something that we are passionate about.
Right.
So that's how my round 2 went.
Okay.
And it was really good.
Dude, all right, so round 2, you leave the stage. How are you feeling at that point?
I felt not so confident because there was a lot of good people. There is a lot of really good people, and they had compelling stories too. Compelling story in the sense they were focusing on relationships and all that. In none of my podcasts I talk about relationships, but it was very intense to hear them. Like I heard a few people, they attempted to murder their wife, and that's what they were they were like a felon, they went into a prison, then they came back, then they had the realization, Jesus blessed them, and then they started to talk about this journey.
Right.
And they were inspiring people to lead a good life. I thought that was pretty moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So then another story I heard is wherein her son died. Her son died, and she got a box representing her son's ashes or something. But basically, she had a box. She put her hand on the box, and she was really speaking about the intensity of the loss. So very intense stories, but it was a terrible way to sit in a room and hear this, and it's so emotional, and within 2 minutes you're switching to another story wherein that guy is talking about something very exciting. So it's a roller coaster emotions. But the experience was awesome in the sense that I've never experienced anything like how these guys have put together this show.
Right.
The show is done in Phoenix for this year, but it's there still in Dallas and in Atlanta. If somebody is in those metros who are watching this podcast, I would highly encourage them to make time and go do that, because it's a good experience.
Right. So Dallas and Atlanta coming up, right?
Yes.
And then you're headed to Miami for the semifinals. And when's that happen?
It's the second week of December.
Take it all the way.
Yes.
Champion right here. Champion.
So after the round 2, the way they handled the winners was also very elegant. I think we have to give full cheers to Pete and Pat and how they did it. Instead of just putting the names up there and say, okay, these are the guys who won, rest of the guys, see you later, they didn't do that.
What'd they do?
What they did was they again crafted another message around public speaking, the value of business, how it improves with the owner's elevated speech.
Right.
So they gave few more pointers and they said this is how you do it, and then they pointed us to a lot of resources. Then they announced the winners one by one. First they announced the wild card winners, 3 wild card winners.
Yeah.
So those are the real winners according to me, because they slipped and then they rectified and then they ended up coming to the final.
Man.
That's huge for them.
Yeah.
Then they started announcing the regular winners, and 30 of us we were called onto the stage. So it was nice. And then they kind of after the event, then they took us to his suite, Pete's suite in the resort.
Right.
And then they had champagne for all of us, and then he explained to us what the next steps are going to be. Basically, this is going to be the TV production quality show, wherein it's going to be aired on TV. He was not sure which networks are going to be carrying it yet.
Right.
But he was preparing all of us to be part of the workshop, wherein they are going to elevate our levels with speaking and all that. So that's where the Miami is. So that's where the semifinals are, and then the finals will be in Vegas, wherein there will be about 45,000 people or something. So it's going to be huge for Grant and Pete, but we don't know how many people are going to go there. I'm told there is 3 people who are going to go to the final out of these about 125, 150 people that are going to be picked up. So
Let's go to Vegas, guys.
so
you said they give you another pointer after round 2, right? Can you share what maybe one of those was? Do you remember?
yes, so they were one thing that they told is you have to stick to the time, right? Time that they give you, 1 minute or 2 minutes. Time is very, very important. And even in business, it's important, right?
Right.
You have to be concise. You cannot drag it out. Sometimes in the podcast, we drag it out because we like each other and we entertain people. But in real business setting, we are not going to just add flowery stuff.
True.
We just get to the point, get it done.
Right.
Right? So
Absolutely.
that's what they talked about. Even in speeches, when you're sharing your story, you have to be concise. Being concise is an art that you have to develop, because people don't have a lot of time. People have just enough, bare enough time, and you have to use pauses to communicate your message. Pauses should be factored in. If I keep going without pauses, is a problem. That's something that I learned yesterday.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. I am so excited for you to go to Miami and just kill it, and then get that ticket over to Vegas. But even if not, dude, 300 people, you made it over to Miami out of that? That's a win.
No, I mean, I sincerely appreciate the effort that the Grant Cardone's team, Pete and Pat, these guys did, all their assistants, everybody, that they did a phenomenal job with arranging it in Phoenix. I was very impressed. Being on a Saturday morning, I was like 50-50 whether I should go or not, but I'm so happy that I did. I've experienced something very profound with so many people communicating their story, and in a room I was able to hear so many good, great, terrible, sad stories at the same time, very exciting, terrific stories, and the blend of it, it just churned my emotions. So it was a great experience. So I would highly recommend the guys who are watching this, if you are in Dallas or Atlanta, if you are able to make time for this, sign up for it. It's called speakoff.com. We are promoting them.
There you go.
We are promoting them here, but we are doing it because it's a good business experience for any business owner out there, or if somebody just who wants to improve their communication. I think we are doing it for Grant and Pete. We are not getting paid for promoting it, but we are doing it because we like the experience.
Yeah, you had a great time, man. Plus, you brought back some good nuggets to share with me.
Yep.
I wish I could have gone, man. Been
Yes.
to support you. Yeah.
Yes. Next
Anything
time.
else?
Next time. Yeah.
Anything else for the audience before we wrap up?
Just follow my story. Hashtag Google and my name. Google Kiran Vedantam. I'm going to put it on the screen and in the description. So just follow my journey and cheer me. Hopefully we'll go into the finals in Vegas.
Absolutely, man. And with that, have a good one. Take
Thank
care.
you.